Welcome to the Hard Knocks podcast, where we dive deep into the door-knocking industry, the grind, and the grit it takes to succeed. This is the show for the ones who've been told no more times than they can count, but keep showing up anyway. My name is Jay Miller, and with me is my co-host,
Naaman Taylor, y'all.
Yes, sir. And we're here to share stories, raw lessons, and the kind of insight you only get from being in the trenches. So let's get into it.
So this
My name is Jay Miller.
I know you've been through the dark times, the toxic times, the burned out times, the getting screwed times. So I know this is going to be a cool episode for
It's Game of Thrones, baby.
For some guys to relate to. I've experienced no such thing because I work at Miller Storm. But
Who hurt you?
Yeah. But I've got to, I've had the unique opportunity to help you really build trust again with people.
Absolutely.
And really continue to develop the business and bring more people along because you're like, all right, I see we turning a little bit of a corner here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also just seeing the other side of it where, like, I talked to a guy yesterday that's going to come over here most likely because he's getting screwed by his company. And I'm like, dude, it's so crazy how guys just mistreat their sales reps.
Keep screwing your sales reps.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like, hey.
Keep taking their commissions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We'll keep paying them out and treating them right.
Yep. That's going to be a cool topic.
You keep training them and we'll keep paying them.
Yeah. Appreciate you for developing this guy and then screwing him over so he can come over here and just thrive, you know what I mean? So let's talk about a couple different things. We can jump right into one of them where it says the dark side of the industry, the first one, burnout. Talk about a time maybe where you felt like you had experienced some burnout, and let's jump right into it. Yeah,
I mean, so when I first got into this, knocking doors, 8 hours a day, you're just knocking, right? And you want to listen. You can make door knocking fun, but sometimes it's not fun, and you're waiting for some kind of release. You're like, you get that $20,000 check and you're like, I want to go have like real fun with this money because I've been busting my ass for 3 or 4 months, And then once that money's gone or you use it, then you're like, fuck, I got to go back out knocking doors again, to build up that pipeline. And so you really have to have a vision of what the next level is for you because, when you're just knocking doors and you're making money, that lasts for a little bit, but you have to know what you're building with the money that you're making or where you're leveling up inside of the company, right? Do you want to be a team lead? Do you want to be a sales manager? Do you want to go start another branch? And those are the skills that I would tell people to get. Because who wants to knock doors forever, right? Because that's really like the mental piece of it is like when you're like, I'm going to be out here knocking doors forever. Like, when is this going to end? What's the next spot for me, And I think that the company should paint that for you.
The development plan of what's next. I talked to a guy yesterday that he's going to start Monday down in Round Rock. And he's like, hey, I'm down to door knock. I don't want to be door knocking forever, though. Like, right. I want whatever his.
You don't want to door knock forever?
And I laughed and I said, dude, I wouldn't hire you if you said you wanted to door knock forever. I'm like, something's wrong with this fucking dude. Like, I don't trust it. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's a perfectly normal response. Don't feel like, you can't say that on an interview because I was like, that's a perfectly normal response, at least for me.
It's honest.
That's what I'm looking for. Somebody that's like, hey, look, I'm down to get it in.
I would hire the guy that said he wants to knock doors forever.
I wouldn't. That's why I'm in charge of the hiring.
You want to knock doors forever.
No, something's wrong with that dude. He's going to fuck you over. Something's wrong with that dude for sure. It's pretty interesting, when people, they say they love knocking doors. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I mean, listen, there's times where I love knocking doors, right? It's like, I compare knocking doors to like going to the gym. It's like I go there, I'm like, fuck, like I'm out here. You get into a neighborhood, you're like, and then once you get in that rhythm where you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. You know what I mean? Boom, and then you sign a claim or you sign a deal and you have that rush, the same rush you have when you leave the gym, right? Nobody's like has a frown when they leave the gym. Everybody's smiling, but when they're walking in, they're like,
oh, buddy. Yeah, how I greet the lady at the front desk versus on the way in versus out is two way different. I walk in, she's like, hey, I'm like, when I'm leaving, I'm like, hey, see you
have
later.
a great day.
Yeah, you too. Nice to see you. No, and when I say, guys, something's wrong with them when they say they want to knock doors forever. Some guys say that because there's a common misconception there. Some guys say that because it's just they have to have that good self-talk, so they don't fool themselves and they're like, oh, I don't want to knock doors. And then you got to go go knock doors. So
Yep.
it's keeping them in the right frame too. So some guys say that just because it's good, the way you talk to yourself is really important too.
Yes.
So I think that's why some guys say that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I love cold calling. Like I know what that means.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, I don't. But if I get my brain right, I can pick up the phone and make sure I get paid.
Yep. And I think that's why a lot of successful guys in this industry, we protect our energy at all cost, because my wife. I'm like, my first 2 hours, I have to get centered. I have to get focused. I have to get something positive in my body. I have to work out. I have to hit my supplements. I'm trying to get the most competitive edge. So when I walk out of this house, I don't want to walk out. I don't even want to risk like a fight with my wife. Like, I don't want to risk a fight with my kids. Like, I need to get out of this house in the best positive mental state as possible, because if something happens or, like something negative, you turn on all of that stuff transitions directly into the door. So I see a lot of guys that are high performers in this, like they protect their personal development time, which is key.
Oh, yeah. And just protecting your environment. I mean, I even put on my story this morning. I'm like, dude, if I make you uncomfortable, just get from around me. I'm like, I can't. Because, dude, we got to work really hard all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why me and you, I think we have a lot of fun doing this. And so even though it's hard as fuck every day, we vibe really well. And it makes it not feel so bad.
Yeah.
And then the day we're both like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. But the whole day, like it went really, like it didn't feel like a drag.
Yeah.
So
it goes by like that.
Yeah, be careful who you let it. I say it like a foxhole mentality. I'm like, hey, be careful who you let in your foxhole.
Nice.
Dude, you got to go to war with that motherfucker. Y'all could die in there. Y'all got to fight in there. Somebody could fall in your foxhole. Y'all got to both get to it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
Foxhole mentality, dude. Yeah. Like, that's that Army shit. I'm like, be careful who you let in there, because it could be detrimental for you.
Yep.
Who you let in there. So let's transition through burnout and transition to bad culture.
Yeah.
Have you been a part of a company, Jay, that's had bad culture?
Yeah, I have. Well, the first company I was at actually had some pretty good culture. They were a family, tight-knit environment. Everybody got along with everybody. A lot of us spent our families, our Easters, like everybody collectively used to meet at like Taylor's mom's house. Used to do like an Easter, and all the sales reps would bring their kids and have an Easter egg hunt and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. I had never been at a company before where there was that much like family like environment.
It sounds like the Army, dude.
Yeah, it was.
That's how we did things.
Yeah, and we've had like pool parties and stuff like that here, where we're like, hey, everybody come, bring your kids.
I think we need to do more of that, though.
I think we do, too.
We used to have someone in the Army, it was called and then we'll transition back to the bad culture. We had this person that was called the FRG leader. She was the Family Readiness Group, I believe is what it's called. And she was in charge of just like communicating with all the husbands and wives that weren't like service members, so that they felt part of the battalion.
Okay.
So they felt like they were still included.
Yeah.
And then they would do either things on their own or prepare things for us after work or on the weekends.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to look at like maybe having somebody that just collectively like rings in all the spouses, because it builds buy-in to the organization.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's wives are just like part of the.
Yeah. What kind of cult are you part of? Why are you working so much?
Look, it works in the Army.
Yeah.
We were a really big organization.
If the federal government's doing it.
I'm just like, dude, remember I told you, I said this shit is more like the Army than it is wholesaling. So I was like, you really want the Army version of me doing this, not the wholesaling version of me doing this. Because I was like, all these things is how you build these big organizations.
Yep.
And like, that's how you get, buy-in. If a sales rep's wife is tight with all of our wives and all of our kids go to the same thing, we all do the same thing, we all spend time together, when it's a hard time, it's like they can call us and lean on us versus like, fuck those dudes. We don't even know them. Let's just go do something else. Like it helps with retention and building a good culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep talking about that good culture you were at that other company. I just had to get that thought out because I remember like how it actually worked.
Yeah. Yeah. So really good culture there, man. Doing the whole gatherings, the little events, boat parties and stuff like that. That's really where I pulled a lot of those events from, right? It's like the stuff we do here, I pulled from that initial company. And then, I went to another company where the culture wasn't that good. It was very transactional. It was like sign deals, like file claims, just bring them to the office, like...
See the sales meeting.
Yeah, it was just the exchange of money, right? There wasn't even a sales meeting. They didn't even have rep card.
My bad.
They didn't even have a sales meeting. I remember I was gung ho on having a sales meeting, and the first one I went to, it looked like a fucking NA meeting. There was like chairs in a circle when I walked into this.
You know why? Probably because that's the only meeting they've ever been to.
And I was like, what the fuck? You know, and then, you know, the hype was just not there. You know, it's like when you try to do something the first time, you're like, bro, we ain't had a sales meeting since we've been here. Like now you're trying to get everybody riled up. You know, it takes consistency there. Truly. You asked me if there was a company that ever had bad culture. I fucked up when I started Miller Storm. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was honored for anyone to follow me at that time because, you know, you have that just like, I'm a business owner. Oh, you want to work for me? All right, cool. Come, yeah, I'll hire you, whatever, right? So I was just hiring all these guys. And, you know, I remember there was a month that we did really well and we went out to the club. I took them to the club.
Yeah.
Like we went out,
That was your culture.
Yeah. And then imagine like, you know, I got too personal with them and then you try to, you're like, all right, guys, let's get fired up. You're like, dude, you were faded the other night. Remember when you said, like, you know, you're like, oh, dude. You know, and then when you're
in the Army, we called that fraternization.
Yeah. It was really hard to be a leader and a friend at the same time, right? And I had to draw a line. And that first year was where I was like, all right, cool. Like, I can't hang out with y'all like that. And plus, I shouldn't even be hanging out like that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
It's not
I was
a good
like,
way of doing business anyway.
Right, exactly, you know? There was some things from that first company I was at, because I know Taylor's mom used to take the guys to the clubs and this, that, a third. And, you know, it was like, yeah, they like that, right? But, like, that's very short-lived. You can't really gain momentum like that in your company, and people won't see you from a professional level. So, and so, yeah, I've allowed people in my company, which, you know, I had to fire my top sales rep twice. You let a guy hang around, he produces. It's just, he produces, like, let him chill, you know, he produces. And then he's like, you know, fucking Jay's fucking killing it, you know? He's like, bro, we should be getting 80% on these fucking deals, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and they don't even know, like, they only see it from a sales rep lens. And then they recruit somebody in your own company, like, I'm gonna go do a roof by myself, like, and then well, I could do a roof, and yeah, you could start your own company. And then you get all of this, like, rah-rah, and people leave, right? Or they don't respect the company anymore, and they won't listen to you.
I'm really glad that you went through all that stuff, because I get to fast forward my own learning. Because even just yesterday, I was talking to a guy that I've been trying to recruit for like 9 months, right? Somebody that Taylor sent, I don't think she knew him, but she sent him my way like a while ago. And he was like, you know, I chatted with him once or twice, but I've stayed like on these dudes.
Yeah.
Like for months and months and months. And
Yeah.
he hit me up. I hadn't talked to him probably in a few months at this point. Besides like, hey,
You put him on that drip campaign.
Yeah, he's on the go high level drip.
Happy Easter.
Chicken egg. Yeah, stay on the drip campaign with your boy. Like,
Good Friday.
It is the reason we're winning.
Yeah.
And so he hit me up yesterday because obviously he's getting like, he was like, hey, he texted me, can you chat for a minute? I need a business owner perspective. And I was like, cool. So I called him. And long story short, he was getting like played out of some commissions based on like a build that happened 8 months ago that now there's like a big leak, and then the owner's trying to like make him pay for it. I was like, that's kind of tough, interesting situation. But he was like, yeah, he's probably just gonna keep my money. So when he does that, I'm gonna give you a call. And I was like, okay. But he was like, hey, I'm gonna come see you tomorrow. I got this build that I'll just run through y'all. And I was like, well, hold on.
La 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 la. La.
I was like, well, hold on. I was like, hey, look, dude, we don't do that. We're gonna keep our side of the street clean. You want to work over here? That's dope, dude. Finish out, clean it up, because I wouldn't have known any better if I didn't work at Miller Storm. I started my own thing. I'd be like, yeah, dude, come on, let's go. Yeah. I don't know that lesson. All right, so I'm like, yeah, come on, dude, run it through us. Like, you'll transition up out of there. I didn't know that was a rule. You know what I mean? I'm like, sometimes you don't know the rules to the game to play, and I would have like got into a weird situation. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes guys don't know, 1, the written rules, 2, the unwritten rules, and 3, how to keep their side of the street clean. Yeah. That's a term we use over and over and over when we're talking to these reps, just to make sure like, hey, everything is solid. Miller Storm's doing no wrong. Yeah. When you come over here, it's going to be a clean break. So that way when this guy calls me, or you, probably you, when he calls you, it's like, hey, look, this is what we told them. These were the rules to the game. We made sure everything was clean on our side. And
I don't want any of their deals. I'm like, do not flip any deals from that company over here.
And I told them too. I said, when you come over here, that's the only reason I'll fire you, and the only reason I'll keep your commissions. I respect that. I'm like, cool, because that way when you try to fuck me, I told your ass before you even worked here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because when that's the only reason that we'll do that is if you're flipping deals. You know, I ask guys, what's the promise I tell guys? I say, hey man, listen, if you want to go to another company or you want to quit, you will get paid up to wherever you're at on that deal. Like, and the one promise I'll tell you is that I will never beg for you back. So if you give me your resignation or you're quitting or you're done, you're going to get paid all your money. I just need you to go to wherever you want to go because I don't want to hold people hostage here. I've been hostage before.
Yeah.
You know, a guy owes you.
Let's talk. How does the I don't want to use the word average. What's the industry norm on when someone gets fired out of a roofing company when it comes to how they get paid out?
Yeah, that you're done. That's it. The buck stops there, bro. They're not paying you. I mean, listen, I've heard some success stories, but I will tell you 8 times out of 10, that company is going to keep your money. And I will tell you over here, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get paid your money. It's hard. That's a skill. And I learned that from the first owner that I worked for. I thought, you know, I was like, I went in there. I was completely transparent. I said, here's your iPad. Here's the hats. Here's the shirts. I appreciate the opportunity. But I think I would be best suited at this other company. And so was honest up front. He paid me all my $28,000. You know, boom. That's what I tell guys to do. Be honest, be transparent. Yeah. But I've also seen guys be honest and transparent. They're like, yeah, they just kept that 53 grand. They were honest about keeping my money too.
We just brought a guy over because it's really subjective and open to the owner's interpretation. Mm-hmm. We brought a guy over. I don't think he did anything wrong, but sometimes people just feel a certain way about the transition and they look for a reason to keep your money.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And that is fucked up. Everybody that does that, y'all have kept people's commission checks, all that stuff. Like, y'all got to stop doing that, man, because these people have kids, they have a life. Like, you shouldn't be playing God in this rep's world and saying, hey, you know, you're broke now. No, like, make sure you guys pay these people out. You know, that's why we have things broken down, right? 15% for the claim, 10% for the adjuster, 15% for the contract, 10% for finalization. So if someone comes in here and they do the contract and then they don't want to finalize the deal, right? Well, or if they get fired or they quit or whatever, then they get paid up to that spot. I will finish out the deal. You know what I mean? But you're going to get paid up to wherever you completed. And that's why we have that step-by-step, you know, those stages.
Yeah.
It's sad. I had my commissions taken from me. I was like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even do any wrong.
What's the most commissions you've had a company take from you?
So mine's light. Like, mine's like 28 grand.
That's light and roofing.
I mean, yeah, I've heard other stories, and that's why I don't really tell that story because people are like, yeah, he got me for like 160,000. I was like 120. I'm like.
We just brought in a guy. And a roofing company owes him $250,000. Isn't that crazy? $250,000 they owe it to him. I'm not gonna say no names of companies or reps or anything like that. They owe him $250,000. I said, if someone owed me $250,000, homie, I'm coming
Ocean's
to see
11.
you.
Ocean's 11, baby.
Hard knocks.
Yeah, hard knocks.
Hard knocks, baby. Yeah, 250 is a lot, bro. Yeah,
that's
a lot of money.
It's crazy, you know. It's sad that goes on in our industry.
Hey, I gotta put you on a payment plan or something. Like, let's work something out, bro. Like, don't just take all my bread. Like, I understand, you know, sometimes insurance don't pay out fast enough, or you got something bad happened in your company, and shit goes wrong all the time.
Yeah,
pay me out, you know, 20 over the next 10.
Yep.
Like, pay me something though. Don't just keep all my bread, dude.
They get funny with the money, man.
That's crazy to me, dude. I'm like, dude, I did the work.
Yeah. You would have never had that deal if it wasn't for X, Y, or Z. Yeah. So what are we talking about?
It's crazy industry. I had never heard these kind of stories. Wholesaling is not like it's a weird industry too, but I never heard of people keeping people's money. Like, that was, and maybe it happens. I just didn't hear about it because I really only know, you know, the company that I ran and built, and it wasn't a big of an industry where people have like big organizations.
Yep.
So I guess it would be like maybe it's a hidden secret in that industry too.
Well, that's why it's really important for guys when they get into roofing that they sign a sales rep or sales consultant contract with this company, right? Like we were talking about the other day. I was like, yeah, we could talk about all this. Let's talk about the prenup.
Yeah.
Like what happens if we get divorced?
Yeah,
you
let's
know,
figure all that out first.
Right? Because like, let's just be honest and have that tough conversation now. So God forbid that happens in the future. We all know what we're expecting and what we expect of each other.
Yeah. What just so people don't get played, what are some signs that people can look out for when they come into a new roofing industry so that they know they're not getting played?
Well, one is longevity, right? Like how long has this roofing company been around? Okay, because if they've been around a while, they're obviously doing something right. Two, look at their culture, look at who they're hiring, because that's why we're so selective on who we let in here, because I don't want to, get a stallion or a shark and have him come in and him look around and there'd be a bunch of fucking goonies in here. They're like, I don't want to be here, right? Eagles fly with eagles, and so
I think that's one of the coolest things about the last round of hires that we made. They were all pretty experienced, and they all looked at the guys that we had, and they were like, I could see myself fitting in here. And then they got around them. They came to the sales meeting, went out knocking, and they're like, dude, y'all are dope. Like, I'm like, shit, you're dope, dude. I'm glad you fit in. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's really cool to see that. Even some of the guys that own their own companies that we have lunch with, meet with, and they're like, I could see myself working over there with y'all.
Yeah.
Like you look like me. You look like us. I remember there was one real big buff motherfucker, and he was like, yeah, man, y'all are like, I can't work with that dude. He got a little pot belly on. You know what I mean? He's like, y'all are jacked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all are clearly in the gym every morning. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, that's freaking cool. Because eagles fly with eagles, like you said.
Yep, 100%. So things they need to look out for, man, is I would get, of course I'm going to look at the reviews. I'm going to ask the people, stuff like that, that work there, see kind of what their experience has been like. If there's not guys over there making $300,000-$400,000 a year, and their top guys making 110, well, there's your ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually something interesting as I went through my recruiting journey. Because I started out with just zero experience. Like, not zero. I guess I'd already built a company, but different recruiting door knockers versus, I guess, sales guys over the phone. It's a little bit different because it was a much faster rate of hiring.
Yeah.
And so I'll just say I started out with zero experience in outside sales recruiting, door knocking team. But I was like, this is the business. I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
And so starting out there and seeing who we were hiring in the beginning and trying to like follow the model of some of the bigger companies, because I just kind of watched their content, watched how they moved, and was like, okay, let me see what the industry norms are. And I tried that model. It didn't work for us. And then I heard something from another guy that owns a big company here in DFW. He was like, how many $1 million producers, how many guys make $150,000 in that company? That's kind of like where you were alluding to there. And a guy that I was interviewing told me that. And I was like, oh, that's a great question, you know, because I was just going through my journey, you know what I mean? Like some of y'all, you've been doing this shit for 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
You've been owning the business for over 5. And I'm like, it's my first year in the joint. I'm like, let me figure this out. And I thought that was an excellent question. And now I use that as a recruiting tactic. I'm like, hey, I have 10 guys here that are all going to make 6 figures. Like, it's more than 10, but I just say, I don't know if it's like 11, 12, 13, whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I have 10 guys here that are going to make over $100,000, $150,000, whatever the number is. That's a proven model. And then my second step to that is the most money that I've seen someone make in our model is over $400,000. And that's when these motherfuckers are like, I'm down. They're like, hey,
usually
look,
they're lip drops.
I ain't never door knocked before, but if someone did it, I can do it, because what one man can do, another man can do. And I'm like, they're like, I'll try it. And sometimes, guys get on that journey, and sometimes 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, I don't even want to make $400,000 anymore.
Yeah.
This is way different than I thought it was going to be. So, but it's interesting to see the different, things to look for in a company. Like, how many guys are making $100,000? What's the top rep ever made inside of this system? Yeah. Those are things that are really important questions to ask when you're interviewing, because I'm like, hey, I don't know what your work ethic is, but I know when you have the ultimate work ethic, the most I've seen inside of our systems, 400. The average rep makes over 6 figures, and when you work part-time, like, even though we don't have nobody part-time, but when you put that part-time effort in, you make, you make 80 grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are some things to ask.
I think people love the idea of making 400,000, but I gave that guy the metaphor the other day. I was like, it's like when you're gonna go run 5 miles, and you're like, yeah, that seems great. I want to get in better cardio shape and better shape and all this, and then mile 2, you start justifying. You're like, man, do I really? I mean, whoo,
David Goggins ain't that motivating after mile 2. Stop being a bitch. You're like, I'm a bitch.
You start to figure out if you really want it. You know what I mean?
All of a sudden, that shit ain't so motivating.
Where it's like, man, I want to be big and buff like y'all, until it's time to put in that work over and over and over again in the gym. And then you're like, oh, man, maybe I really don't want this. That's really where the deciding factor comes in, is that threshold where it's like, are you willing to put in the work day in, day out? And are you on fire? And do you believe you can do it? Because everybody wants to be successful, but not everybody wants to put in the work to be successful.
So even like the guys, so we did the rep side, like even the guys that run the recruiting in their company, or even business owners, when one of the questions I asked guys, I asked a guy this yesterday. It was so crazy. I was about to leave when you left yesterday, and then all of a sudden, like, all kind of shit happened, and I was here till like fucking 7. I was like,
is Jay here?
Bro, I was so mad. I was like, yeah, I'm probably about to get up out of here too. And then I got like a text and a phone call. Then my wife's like, hey, you coming home? I'm like, yeah, I just pulled in the driveway, but I'm on the phone call. Like, I was like, son of a bitch. Like from 5 to 7, I got hit with like 3 recruiting calls, which is dope because we want to hire more people. But yesterday I was talking to a guy, and I was trying to get off the phone with him because I was like, hey, we'll just do this tomorrow in person. But I asked him, I was like, hey, and it goes to the putting in work, how much money you can make. I asked him, and this is a great question to ask when you're interviewing, is what's the most money you ever made? And he had a big beard, so I thought he was like 30, 35 years old.
Yeah.
And he was like 30 grand. And I was like, and I looked at him and I said, really? And he was like, I'm not as old as you think I am. That's what he said to me, because I was on a Google Meet with him, actually. And I was like, well, how old are you? And he was like, I just turned 22. Yeah, he just has a big beard, so he looks, the beard will age you quick, dude. Yeah. He's like, I just turned 22. Like, I haven't, I worked at this other roofing company for 2 or 3 months. But
he was buying beer at 15.
Yeah. Like, for real. He's like, but then they shut down, and so, like, I was trying to, like, get into it. I'm like, okay. Those are the only guys I'll give a shot. When you're like fucking 30 and you tell me you only made 30 grand, bro, you can't work here. That tells me a lot about the last decade of your life. Yeah. But I'll give young kids a shot like that. I'm like, okay, because he's like, I got big dreams, big hopes. I want to try to da-da-da-da-da. He's like, I want to make 250 grand. And I was like, I backed him up. I said, okay, I hear you. That's dope. I said, but you've only ever put in the work to make 30 grand. That's required to even get to 100. Because a lot of guys in here, they tell me they want to make 200, 300, 400, and then maybe they've made 100. And I'm like, so you made 100, you want to make 250. I said, it's a whole nother level, dude. Yeah. It's every day. It's till dark. It's all day. It's up early. It's up late. It's no priorities but making money is what that is. Right. And when you've never done it, you don't understand the sacrifice and the consequences in the other parts of your life. You don't even know how to set up the rest of your life to make 250 grand. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you don't even understand. I'm like, you don't know the positions I have to put my wife in for me to make that much money. Right. You have no clue. So you want to make 250 because it sounds cool. Wait till you got to tell your wife you're not going to be home till 8:30. Yep. See how that rolls. Wait till you tell her there's no Saturday hangout. Yeah. Wait till you tell her, hey, we can't go to church. I got to go knock doors. Right. Wait till you tell her all that and see how that goes for you. I'm like, there's a whole nother level. You still want to make 250, bro? Or you want to stay married? Yeah. You don't even know how to set your life up to make 100 grand yet. Right. So that's what I was kind of explaining to him, and he was like, hey, he still believed in himself, which was cool. Like, he didn't back off. I tried to like push him out right there. He didn't back off. He was like, no, I was like, can you work 60 hours a week? And he was like, I could do 50. And I was like,
at 22?
Yeah. I was like, I said, you got wife, kids, or a dog? He said, no. I said,
you should have said 80.
Dude, I'm like, homie. But that tells you you're not going to make 250 at 50 hours a week. No. I do 50 hours a week in like 4 days. I can do that in 4 days. I can do it in 3 days if we're really trying. Yeah. I'm like, that's your 7 days, 50 hours? That ain't even full time if you work 7 days.
Dude, people don't even understand the concept. I mean, I used to work at Costco. I would work 40 hours and Costco pays you like double time, like when you get, you know, so they pay you really good on the hourly. I was getting paid like $17 an hour or something, but I'd make $34 an hour on
double
that,
time.
on that
Remember
41.
double time?
Yeah.
Time
you know,
and a half.
I would give Costco, I would have gave Costco 20 if they would, but they would cap me. They would say, hey, you can only work 10. Like,
you can't cut the meat all day, Jay.
Yeah, like
shaving meat for fucking 40 hours a week. We need you to roll.
I'll hang out. I'll clean up.
I'll clean up. I just need 80 hours.
Yeah, like that's the grind that you got to have. I mean, you have to be in a situation like that to appreciate being able to work more hours, because a lot of these guys, when you work an hourly job, they go, hey, that's it. All I could give you is. I remember those. You were in the art, but I had worked jobs where like, hey, dude, max I could give you is 35 hours. You know, and you're like, and you're capped.
You're like, dude, I can only make $700 this week.
Yeah, that's all. You know what I mean? You're like, no, can I pick up more hours? And so like, I mean, all of this stuff kind of led up to me being grateful for everything. I was like, you mean I get my own schedule? I could work as long as I want. I have all the hours I want, and I could just go ham, and I can get paid for whatever it is I do. Like, bruh.
So it took me 10 years of being in the Army to hit that mentally. I remember I felt it first, but I didn't know how to like get the concept in my brain. I felt it at like year 5 because I was better than all the other people that were around me at my rank.
Yeah.
And I was like, we fucking get paid the same. I was like, dude, this is whack. I was like, I'm here before them. I stay later than them. And there was a guy that was the same rank as me that I knew was better than me. And I was like, that motherfucker, man, he works way more than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we get paid the same. I'm like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
You know? But then I was feeling the same way about guys that work less than me. And they were probably like, look at this idiot. Like I was not the hardest worker in the Army, because there was this one guy, bro, I swear to God, he'd work like 16 hours. I thought it was crazy. He would be so good at this. But I remember I still worked like 10 hours, which was more than all the other guys. And I used to think, why the fuck do we get paid the same, dude?
Yeah.
And sometimes they got paid more than me because they had been in the Army longer than me. So like you get paid based on time and service.
Yeah.
I was like, they get paid more than me, and I'm in a position to work more than them. I was like, this is whack.
Yeah.
And then 10 years in, when I got into entrepreneurship a little bit, when I was wholesaling and I started getting cash flow through my rental properties, I was like, I'm getting paid for making moves.
Right.
And I was like, this is better.
Mm-hmm.
And I started realizing, and then I started a business when I was in the Army, and I was like, I stopped even trying to be in the Army at that point. I was like, yo, I was the worst,
checks,
bro. I was putting like 30 hours into the Army and then like 40 into freaking my business. You know, I was putting more in part-time in my business. I was called it part-time, but I was full-time in my real business and then part-time at the Army. And I remember thinking like, wow, what a concept of, you know, actually being able to get paid what you're valued at.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I was cool with them kicking me out, because I was like, you know, I'm willing to put all this in.
Yeah.
And truly the Army showed me. That's why I have an advantage over, I call everybody civilians, right? And like civilian people. I'm like, I have an advantage over them because the Army really showed me how to work 31 days a month, 12 hours a day. Or really, when my first deployment, I worked 365 days straight, 12 hours a day. Like, no one does that. And I was like, I did it, and I know what it felt like, and I have the experience, and I have that, like, notch in my belt. And I'm like, most people will never even get that. I was taught how to outwork you already.
Yeah.
Like, you can't physically, you wouldn't be able to do it because your body wouldn't hold up.
Right.
And then mentally, you wouldn't be able to do it because, well, you just never done it.
Yep.
I know I can do it. And that's why, like, every day I'm like, bro, you don't know how to work. You don't even know how to work. You have no idea what this even feels like.
Real.
I was like, I will just run laps around. I'm going to toast you, dude. And so, like, you know, once you realize, you know, hey, I get paid by the amount of work that I put in, you'll fucking work.
Yep.
But you got to know what that feels like first.
And what is the alternative? You know, I'm like, you know, yeah, okay, UPS is hiring, but like, they're only paying 75, 80 grand maybe, and you're going to give UPS 50 hours. Like, you're going to go give Dunkin' Donuts 40 hours. Yeah. Like, you know, if you're going to give all of these other companies this amount of hours, put it into yourself in this industry, in sales. That's what's really going to make you the money and free you up and give you the lifestyle that you want. Stop trading your fucking time for money. Nobody could put a fucking price tag on an hour for me. Like, how much your time worth? $1 million an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. You got a price too.
Bro. We all got prices, but I'm just saying.
I know what you mean though. Like to lock you in forever on a hourly.
On a set rate.
I would coach you for an hourly rate right now, and it's $1,000. Yeah. So let's just transition. How does a rep recover after they get burned by a company and they keep all their cash? How do you recover?
How do you recover? You just go hustle harder for another company. Like once you get burned at one company, you know all the signs of the company that'll do that to you. I see it all the time on social media. This guy burned me for my money. That guy burned me for my money. I'm like, dude, I don't want any of that publicity, which is why, few guys have left and we were like, should be, that's fucked up. He kind of took the business and went here. I'm like, dude, just pay this motherfucker his money because I don't want to see him on social media talking about, there ain't nobody that can say I owe him a fucking penny.
Yeah, no,
I'm dead
money.
serious. But back to what a rep does, man, and I can only speak for myself, is that once that happened to me, I used that pain to drive me to go insane on the doors. I was like, oh, okay, cool. One, because I'm broke and I don't have a check coming now. But two, the other pain was you fucked me, and now watch, I'm about to run up these numbers. Like you're gonna success is the best revenge, and I just went massively successful in the next year, 2 years. I mean, that was really when I started Miller Storm.
I'm going to knock all your signs. I'm going to knock around all your signs.
Yeah.
And you're going to see my signs every day.
Yep.
I talked to a guy yesterday. He was like, dude, I just be seeing y'all signs everywhere. Like, dude, we're recruiting. He's like, I just be seeing y'all signs everywhere, bro. It's dope. Like, let's chop tomorrow. Like, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see,
Yeah, because I know kind of the basis of this podcast was like trust and how you get back over it and stuff like that. It's like, honestly, the only way to get over being screwed or backstabbed is to truly trust again. You can't, it's like, it's like you're in a relationship and you get cheated on. It's like, okay, what is that, the last relationship you're at? You're going to have to dust yourself off and try again.
Don't like girls anymore.
Yeah, you're like, and so you have no choice but to keep moving forward, and that is part of this roofing industry is you do get burned, you do get backstabbed. Sales reps will fuck you, or they won't stay with you, or they'll say they're going to stay with you forever and they don't. One of the hardest times I ever went through was trying to build this with a good friend of mine. We want.
Let's. You comfortable sharing that story?
Sure. I mean,
you shared it with me. I thought that was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I mean, I'm talking about like we coached football together. Like we went on vacations together. Like we were like fucking family, dude. And then one day I find out that he like started a company inside my company, a roofing and solar company. I find it on the internet, and I'm like, yo, hold on a second. I'm like, that can't be right. Like Taylor's like, no, this is going on. We know, like that. Look, and she like pulls up all these records, and and I'm like, and I approach him, and I'm like, yo, what's with this? Mind you, service member, right? Was in the military,
Marines, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
He was a police officer, like So I
law-abiding citizen.
I didn't correlate this. Like it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I could not I refuse, it's like some things you just refuse to believe. I approach him about it. He starts crying. Yo, I would never do you like that, bro. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I was putting him on my deals, training him. Like, he must have made $30,000 off of stuff that were my deal. I could have ran him anyway, but I was
him make it.
Yeah, I was trying to get him his foot in the door. And anyway, crying, this, that, and the third, and then come to find out it was all fucking true.
How'd you find out though? That's the best part of the story to me.
So we found out trying to set up a user account for the solar company that we were using. So there was a solar company we were using at the time. I forgot the name of it. But we were setting up accounts so people can sell solar. That's when it triggered, hey, this phone number is already in use. Somebody tried to use it.
No.
Well, then when I went to go pick up a final check from a homeowner that was my referral, I look when I'm in his house. I'm like, hey, I look on the desk and I pick this thing up, and I'm not going to use this guy's name, but I look at it, and it's his company, his name, his address with a solar estimate. He's trying to sell this guy solar. And I'm like,
was there like a magnet or something involved or no?
I don't remember.
Tell me it was like a magnet on. What's this?
Oh, I remember the contract because I
Yeah.
saw it on his desk, and I was like, dude.
That's crazy.
But I had to keep my poker face. I was like, hey, cool. I was like, oh, cool. And I just read, I'm like, oh yeah, he came by. Yeah, he was over here the other day. But I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah.
You know, so I'm like, had to just kind of cut ties with that. And it's super awkward, you know, because my son will see his son at these football things and stuff like that.
Well, it's super awkward because you're just in business.
That just was like, dude, you know, so many people have done, like, I'm like, do it the right way, bro. Like, just be transparent.
Dude, I just rather do my own thing.
Yeah, dude, we're good. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Go run it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I think at least to all the owners that have given you an opportunity, you owe them the respect of keeping it a buck. That's it. Keep it 100 with them, dude. Stop trying to make it weird, and then you got to feel like you got to backstab them and make it super toxic so the breakup's severed, and, you know, you guys...
That's their idea.
Yeah,
all
like...
that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that was a hard time, man, and that was, like, not too far from the time that I met you, but there was a gap. There was probably a year gap between there. But, you know...
I remember I was like, who hurt you?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, why can't we just... What's the big deal? Show me the financials.
Right. I'm like very skeptical, man, of everything.
Yeah.
You know, after that. But, you know, learn to trust again, man. And me and you have blown this thing up. Like, it has been really cool to do this with somebody who has the same core values, the same ethics, same professionalism, same grind.
Run it up.
You know, if you are lucky enough to find people like that to build a $50, $100 million thing, you're blessed. Because
when you
it's
say
about
the money's in the trust.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it? What did you say?
Trust is what makes millions.
Yeah.
Man.
There you go.
Like if you guys, there's usually a core set of people that stick together and have each other's back, and that's what blows up to a $50, $100 million company, and you all win, right? Versus, you know, you try to do this by yourself and you keep getting backstabbed and this, that, and a third because people either A, don't have skin in the game, B, they just don't see your vision, you know, or 3, those people are just fucked up, right? Like untrusting people. So if you find those A players, you know, that's really the blessing is finding the A players, man. The guys that you could grind with, grow the company with. You can't put a price tag on that.
Not at all. So all those owners out there, dude, it's the trust, it's the longevity, right? Like trust over time. Because a lot of guys will hop in business together. I know because I'm in a mastermind, and a lot of times people, you've been there. People will stand up and present.
Yep.
Boardroom mastermind. People will stand up and present, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm partnered up with this guy," and everybody goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa,"
Yeah.
Because there's a room full of business owners, and they're like, "Who's your partner?"
Yeah.
Like,
Background check. Like, let's
all
get
this
it.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's always the same shit, and it's like, because it gets crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and when guys will do dinners with other business owners, and like, yeah, he fucking stole a fucking $1 million from me, or
dude.
he took my company, or he did that, and I'm like, holy shit, it's a wild, wild west out here, dude.
And they both fucking lost.
Yeah, everyone just loses.
You know, yeah, you
Everyone
stole
just
money,
loses.
but you're going to have to steal money again. No one ever trusts you. They won't do business with you ever again.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you got to protect your reputation. Be that person. You can't fake this shit, dude. You got to be a real motherfucker
Yeah.
to grow a business to a high level. And you have to have good people around you, dude. And, you
Because
know,
we're even a little skeptical too when guys come in with experience, and they want certain comp plans, they want to negotiate, and we're just like, dude, you're gonna have to run it up.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we've had guys come here looking good, say the thing, and it's like,
Talking that talk.
yep.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, they're like, man, I ain't trying to change my life like that.
That shit drives me crazy.
What
You know, it's like talk is talk. Talk is cheap, man. Like,
Yeah.
like let's see you run up the numbers. And a lot of people that come in and talk the talk can't walk the walk.
not the right-
It's always the guys that are like super shy. They're like, yeah, no, I'll do it.
I can try
Just
it.
really
you know?
short. Yeah.
Can I try it out?
Yeah, I could do that. Okay. You're like, man, I just don't think he's. And then boom,
Won't
he
even
blows
make eye
it up.
contact with
It's
you.
the guy that comes in like, yo, I'm about to come kill it. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
He puts a target on his back, and he ends up being the fucking biggest bust in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Terrell Owens of the locker room.
Bro. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And I know what's fun, too, when we do these recruiting things, it's telling my story to them about how I got into Miller Storm. Because I'll say, hey, I won't ask you to do nothing I've never done. You know what I mean? Because I was like, dude, you always bring it up to, you're like, name it. How much you make your first 90 days at Miller Storm? I'll be like $20. And then guys are like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's real. It's a really cool way to present it to them because it's actually real.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helps them understand, like, okay, like, there is opportunity here. You can become part of the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Because we didn't, like, you know, the first 90 days, we didn't really have nothing figured out. We were just trying some shit out. I wish you were shooting a podcast then to see and hear your thoughts then about how all that, because it's just misconstrued.
Yeah.
The most you can say now is like, I just didn't believe you. Because I would love to be a fly on the wall with you and Taylor talking about this shit. Like, I don't know, this motherfucker, like, he wants to fucking call people. That would have been really, really funny to listen to and hear and shit like that. Those first 90 days, that would have been hilarious. Knowing y'all better now, like, those would have been some hilarious conversations to have been documented.
Yeah.
I could only. Do you have any like crazy story with you and Taylor those first 90 days that we haven't? Because we talk about everything, but do you have anything you could think of where it was like a moment where y'all like, I don't fucking know, like together, you know?
Oh, dude, there was a lot of them.
Yeah, let's hear one of them because this is funny. This is a good time to like bring it up, document it before we lose track, dude. Because it's gonna.
Well,
we got like $16 million more to make this year, and we're gonna forget all that other shit very soon. Let's try to dump some of it now.
Yeah,
and then we'll get up out of here.
I think definitely for sure was the calling people, and then how you wanted to set all of this up, and really not knowing. You knew all the softwares and the things we were gonna need, and this, that, and the third, you know. And I remember when we had to pay the first fucking bill for calling that guy on the do not call.
Oh yeah, it was new to you.
What was it, like
$2,000 or something?
He wanted like $7,000.
Oh yeah.
That was the guy that wanted $7,000. We talked him down to like $3,000.
Oh yeah,
but
I think it was $2,000.
Was it $2,000?
I haven't paid more than $2,000 or something like that. Ever.
That was I think. Well, let's not debate. We'll check it here in a little bit. But there was a big ticket one where I was like, dude, he didn't fucking tell us about this shit. Like, I was like, how often does this happen?
Yeah.
And then you're like, listen, dude, you got to think. You just add this in the
Spread
cost.
this across, bro.
Like, no.
I don't want to spread this across shit.
Spread this across. I'm like, bro, how long? Is this a weekly thing? You're like, just, you know, like, it's just shit would come up. It's just the same thing.
And it feels normal to me. And you're like, this is a big problem. And I'm like, dude, it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
The best way I can explain it to you, because I live by this rule, I speed everywhere I go. Okay? It saves me a ton of time. I don't like fucking driving. I like just getting where I got to go and getting up out the car. All right? So I speed everywhere I go. I get a speeding ticket once or twice a year, and it probably costs me about $500 because I only get caught twice. And I'm like, I would pay if I could just at the beginning of January 1st. Hey, you can pay your $500. Here you go. You can speed all year. I'd pay that shit every fucking year. Right? Like, I would pay it every year.
Yeah.
Would you pay $500 to just speed all year?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And so when I get pulled over, I'm like, well, time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
And that's the same way. I'm like, hey, if you want to call the whole Dallas-Fort Worth, you're going to have to pay about $4,000 or $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
You okay with that? To call 3 million people? Is that cool?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, somebody's not going to like it.
When it first, because I think we got 2 back to back.
Yeah,
it was like,
happened really quick.
And then I started to think this was like fucking going to happen twice a week, not twice a year, although it has averaged and it hasn't been so bad. But, you know, it was stuff like that where I was like, dude, I don't know, like this guy, you know, because I always
He's got these DNC people.
You asked me,
you know
dude,
what else is good too? Oh, go ahead.
You asked me, you're like, bro, something I could improve on, because you just like are like, I'm just gonna get it done. Like, I need X amount, and then I'll get it done.
Yeah.
And then the fucking X amount is always like, dude, what
I
the
need 10 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
need
I'm
20
like,
grand.
I'm like, bro, like, you know, so Those two things used to drive me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And now I understand. But in the beginning, the amount of money, you know, because like it's like we're first starting to trust each other. You're like, yo, dude, I need $4 grand. We're gonna pay for this, this, and this. And I'm like, $4 grand?
$4,000?
You know what I mean? Yo, hey, listen, I know I asked you for the 4 last week, but we're gonna need another 25. I'm like, what kind of fucking Ponzi scheme is this shit? You know, hey, DNC call. Hey, listen, I'm trying to talk to him. 2,500. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I'm like, this shit
funny.
better fucking work,
Yeah,
you know? But that's your
I didn't think
your
about
world.
it from your side. Yeah, it's like normal to me. I'm conditioned to like negotiate with them and pay those fees and fines and shit like that. And that's I know what drove me crazy with all that wasn't normal to me was the 1-star reviews.
Oh yeah.
Because we got like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, it never happened to me in wholesaling. That was so new to me. I was like, bro, what? 1-star? I was like, what the? That one, I was like, I don't know how many times this is going to happen. And it only happened like twice.
The only
but
1-star reviews that we have are from knocking a no soliciting or calling somebody on the DNC list. There's literally nobody in our reviews that actually did business with us and left us a 1-star.
Yeah.
Like the worst that we ever got was a 4-star, and that was for some cleanup, and it was well deserved. But then we changed it. We, made it better, fixed it all up, and he changed it.
That's one thing you do, bro. You always go above and beyond when people are not happy. You're like, dude, I'd rather just lose money on this deal than have a bad experience. I'm like,
I can't express this enough. I mean, even though in my contract it says if we hit water lines in the attic and this and that and all these little different things, it's like, look. If I hit a water line and it fucking starts flooding your fucking house and you call me and you're like, dude, this shit's all over the place. And I'm like, hey, sorry, in the contract it says that we're not responsible while it's fucking raining on your kids in their play area. Like, you know how hard that is? Like, I'll pay the $2,500. I'm going to make sure it's reputation management. You have to protect your reputation at all costs. I say roofing companies, protect your reputation. Stop trying to go in the contract. Like, that's why I'm anti-contingency agreement. I'm like, oh, sign a contingency. Okay, well, I'm going to use my brother. What are you gonna fucking do? If you sign a contingency, they say I'm gonna go use my my uncle, right? My uncle has, maybe your aunt has a roofing company, who knows? So you know what I mean? Don't have them listen, at the end of the day, it's to protect you from those bad apple customers that really try to screw roofing companies and get everything under the sun paid for that wasn't paid for, say we damaged something and stuff like that. It's to protect that roofing contract from that situation, but always extend the olive branch and make sure you take care of people. Like win, lose, draw, or indifferent, because the the worst marketing is people telling other company, telling other
fast,
bad news travels fast, right? And they go, don't use Miller Storm. Last time I used, and then it's like, dude, that could have been a deal. If you saved that deal, paid the $2,500, fixed the guy's water, fixed everything up, right? Now he's a happy camper, and now if someone goes, hey, I need a roofing company, he refers you. Did it cost you money?
Even if he tells a story of the bad part, like, hey, they messed this thing up, but they fixed it by doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's a way better story than they just messed this thing up and then screwed me.
Yep.
So you gotta protect your reputation at all times.
100%.
Stuff. Hell yeah, that's dope. All right, cool.
Cool. This was a good one. This was like the best one. Follow us on Instagram at Roof Dr. J and Naaman Taylor Investor. Stay tuned.